Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to welcome Primo D'Averil.
Good afternoon. I'm delighted that Dr. Jeremy Robertson has had the wisdom and foresight to ask me to help re-engineer his laboratory into shape. And I'm honored to join you today in this historic old building of which you're justly so proud. Incidentally, Jeremy, that's 3 strikes and you're out scenario. That's the 3rd time you've got my name wrong. It's Primo D'Averil, not D'Averil. Thank you. Now, I look out today and I can see questions on your faces. Why has D'Averil broken his busy schedule to help us? What can he do to help us? Did I remember to switch to DT mail before I left the office? Well, I will answer all your questions and more. Jerry Robson here wants me to tell him how to run his business. Well, I'll tell him it's easy as long as you focus on the right things. Now, I heard that IBM had changed, but I've reviewed all the material for your MEA here today, and, well, I find some good stuff, some good, hard, solid business information, like you've heard so far. But I also find some disturbing signs of a caring management attitude. I find stuff about skills and vitality, about involving everyone in improvement. And I find evidence of genuine concern about employee morale. You don't catch me worrying about things like that, because let me express myself, let me verbalize myself totally clarifyingly here. There's a cold wind of change blowing out there, and it'll turn over your new leaves and burn your bridges before Humpty Dumpty hits the tarmac of Omelette City. Now, is that clear enough for you? Because you see, you don't need all these open communications, empowering programs, and personal involvement. You need processes with potency, measures with muscle, and leaders with the sensitivity of Attila the Hun. So what I thought I'd do for you today was to describe some of the processes that I use in my company in the hope that you could utilize them to get some real bottom-line impetus on your lab's 4 key measures. Okay? Let's start with customer satisfaction. How do you satisfy customers? I'll tell you. You give them what they want, you give it to them cheap, and you give them the feeling like they're the only thing that matters in your life. And how do you achieve that feel-goodness factor? In my company, we have a process called Charm Important Customers Selectively, or CICS. Sorry? Does someone else use the term CICS? Okay, write their names down, I'll sue. How does CICS work? Well, each one of my workers is assignated one important customer, and they are measured on the quantifiable charm factor they achieve with that customer. And how do they do that? They woo the customer. They call them, they invite them to dinner, send flowers, have a sleepover. They lend them their cars, their homes, their families. They do whatever it takes to get that customer's signature on the bottom of a contract. Now that's what I call a customer awareness program. I'd like to take the next 2 measures together, costs and revenue. Robin Jeffreyson here wants to know how to get his cost down and his revenue up. Well, I'm surprised at him. He's just spent the last 2 years working with Sir Michael Ovaltine of your British Parliament. The answer is staring him in the face. You want to get rid of a deficit? You want to increase revenue? You raise taxes. Here's one idea. In my company, we have a process called the Consumer Activity Taxation System, or CATS. Sorry, you're telling me someone else uses the term CATS as well? Okay, put them on the litigation list. Now, CATS works by reducing employee consumption. Now, I'm pleased to see that you're already on this road, implementationally speaking. I think the idea of installing toilet roll dispensers specifically designed not to dispense toilet paper is a good one. But you can do better than that. Think British government, think consumer, think catering, and you could come up with an incremental program that decreased employee consumption. Say, this year, an 8% reduction in the size of sweet snacks, the 3-inch Mars bar. And then you follow that in 1995 with a 17.5% reduction in the size of savory snacks, the 13-hoop hula hoop packet. And hey, that's good for you too. Looking around me, I can see several people in this room who would benefit from a more environmental attitude to junk food intake. Can I just have a bit of water there? Mm-hmm. It's okay, I'll drink it straight from the bottle. Pardon me. I've just flown in from a meeting with Yasser Arafat and Richard Branson, and I haven't had a drink. You'll notice that I've left employee morale till last. I have a problem with morale. Well, actually, I don't have a problem. Everyone in my company has high morale, or else. And when I survey morale, I do it for the right reasons. Robbo, there's only one thing you want to get from a morale survey, and that's the right answer. And what I'm going to show you now guarantees to deliver it. Guarantees to deliver it. You call that a sense of urgenticity? Just take a few moments and admire this. Admire the simplicitousness. Simple tools for simple people, that's what I always say. Let me explain the scale to you. 10 means yes. Yes, 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 yes. 1 means get out of town. And of course, there are lots of other options in between for those with wishy-washy brains who can't make their minds up. Look how my survey gets right down to it. I can see right off who would rather be at work than have a life. And I can see who's going to join me in marching backwards into the future. And I gather the right data about empowerment. My survey checks to see that power stays right where it belongs, with me. Now I'm going to come to my piece of resistance. Better. This is where the road really hits the turkeys. Let me remind you of the scale. 10 means the tops, 1 means the bottoms. Look how subtly every employee is encouraged to give the right view of management. And look how carefully the key question is hidden away in an apparently harmless, indeed totally incomprehensible section about informational horizontality. And of course, I end up with the thing I need most, a list of names. Well, as your great poet Shakespeare said, that's all, folks.
We've got a slow one over here.
Take that man's name. I've been delighted to come with you today and to open the kimono and to give you a peek at what I have to offer. Now, I know that Robbo here is just itching to get in and endorse all my ideas, but in case he doesn't, let me leave you with one promise. Having had a peek at what I have to offer, you may think that it's pretty tough here right now. But if by some mischance your management don't take my ideas on board, if they insist on going on with their soft-centered approach of communicating with you, listening to your ideas, involving you in their decisions, and generally being sensitive to your needs, hey, give me a call. There's always room for volunteers in companies like mine, and the world is full of companies like mine. Thanks for listening. JR, I'll be in the bar. Bring your checkbook.